Morning, morning, third grade. I am so excited to bring you our fourth week, oh my gosh, of Miss Love's online reading comprehension classroom. For those of you who have been with me from the beginning, awesome. For those with new Chromebooks, welcome. So glad you're here. I've been waiting so excitedly for you. We are going to be continuing to learn about our favorite character, our friend Morty. We're going to meet a new character and kind of get a new side of Morty this week. Listen closely to see if you can figure it out. Theo is the new student whose soccer skills and kind heart make him an object of admiration for everyone at his new school. Well, almost everyone. Morty isn't used to being ignored, and the attention Theo receives causes Morty to take matters into his own hands. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever lost attention, maybe from a sibling, from a classmate, from a cousin, and it caused you to feel some certain way? Maybe try holding on to that feeling as we read this story today and tomorrow. For our strategy this week, we're going to go back to figuring out our summary and all the key details that support it. But more specifically, your big question is talking about one important thing from the story. Let's see if you can figure out what it is. Get ready to repeat after me. I can overcome summarizing the key supporting details and ideas. Remember these two anchor charts? Or these two graphic organizers? Today we're going to focus on just our hands. Do you remember the 5 things from our hands? The first one's covered up because we're going to do it together. Remember when I want to retell a story or talk about the 5 important details? I want to talk about somebody wanted, but, so, then. Somebody would help me to see who my characters are and what about my characters. Wanted, what does my character want? What's their motivation? But in the middle of my story, what happens? The problem. So, how does my character try to solve that problem? Then, how does he solve it? Does it get solved? What's the ending of my story? That strategy is going to help us figure out our questions for today and figuring out the big problem with this whole situation. So make sure you trace your hand on your notes so you can fill out your hand in your graphic organizer while you read. So that'll help you answer the questions later. Capiche? Let's get started with our questions. Y'all ready? Your first question for today is, the story is mostly about ... and you know that means to complete this sentence. What is this story mostly about? Give me a quick summary. That's why your hand is going to help you. Imagine you're in guided reading and you're retelling Miss Love this story, or someone at home who's never read this story before. Number 2, which part of the plot represents the introduction? Include text evidence. I might give you a helpful hint on this first one. Number 3, what causes Morty to bully Theo? Include text evidence. Number 4, which event happens first in the story? Include text evidence. Event. Notice how it doesn't say what happens in the beginning, but it's asking for which event. So find me something the character is doing or an action in the story. What does the word jealous mean? And lastly, what problem does Theo have in the story? Include text evidence. And if you want to add what problem Morty is having too, you might get some bonus points. So, those are your 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions for today. including your hand that you're going to work on as you're reading. So, before we start reading, we're back to some vocabulary that I'm going to go over real quick for y'all. If my story loads, sometimes, technology likes to be funky. So these words are in the back of your story. If you scroll all the way down in the glossary, our first word is admired. It means to be respected, appreciated, or warmly approved of a person or a quality. So Dr. Malone is admired by her teachers for her hard work and her big heart for her school and her community. Awe. Mixed feelings of wonder, fear, and respect. Embarrassment. A state of feeling awkward, uneasy, or self-conscious. Jealousy. A meaning feeling towards someone because he or she has something one wants. Putrid. Rotten and given off a foul smell. Scampered. Ran or moved in a playful or lively way. Scoff. Showed dislike of something or someone in a mean or mocking way. Sneered. Showed a strong feeling of dislike, often by smiling or laughing in a mean way. Snickered. Laughed in a quiet or partly covered way, often to show disrespect. Whew! Lots of words. Get your story ready. I'm going to read Morty and Charming Theo. Let's see if we can figure out what that word charming means. What does it mean when it's describing our character, Theo? We have our table of contents that gives us a layout of what the story is going to be mostly about. Today we're going to read Monday, the New Mouse. Meet our new student, Miss Snickerwhisker announced. Theo has just moved here from Holland. She pointed to a small country on the map of Europe. Let's all welcome him, she added. The new mouse said hello and took a seat. During recess, the other students showed Theo around and admired his soccer skills. Everyone was gathered around Theo, except Morty, Ben, and Fred. They weren't used to being ignored. So, pause your video. Freeze. Let's stop here. Figuring out the first finger on our hand is somebody. What can I fill out on my somebody? Pause the video and we'll come back. If you wanted to write about Morty, Ben, and Theo don't like being ignored, and also adding their teacher, Miss Snickerwhisker, and their new student, Theo, you would be correct. So your chart should look like mine. I'm just taking quick notes, not complete sentences. That doesn't look neat, so I'm going to rewrite it. So we said Theo, new student, teacher, Morty, being ignored. Did I write complete sentences? No, because I'm just stopping and jotting and adding it to my thumb where it says somebody. Now, your turn is going to be filling out the rest of your hand as well as the comprehension questions that I'm going to post below this video. I'm here till 3 if y'all need me. Let me see your work. Bye, y'all.